Some people have asked me, how does sales tax law get put in place? So I'm going to explain it to you. Here's exactly how it works, and we're talking about California sales tax law. The legislature decides that they want to pick a specific topic and make it subject to sales tax. So they debate it and they run it through committees and they do the standard thing and they write a law and they vote on it. Step one. Step two is they give that law to the state of California's taxing authorities to create what is known as a regulation. Okay, so then the people who have a vested interest in collecting the tax take their interpretation of what the intent of the legislature was and creates what known as regulations. You see, have you ever played that game where you sit in a circle at a party and you whisper a sentence and by the time it gets to the end it bears no relationship? So what do you think is the chance that the taxing authority absolutely duplicated the intent of the legislature? Pretty much zero, right? Well, that's not the end of it. It gets a little bit worse. Now the state of California, having written this regulation, has a problem. They have to create training manuals to teach people how to do that. So they turn it over to probably an HR department person or a group, and they create the training manuals. So now it goes from the intent of the legislature, it's rewritten to a regulation, so there's a little bit of a degrade of the intent, and then it's written into a policy to train people, to explain to people how to do it, okay? So it goes from the intent of the legislature down to the regulation, now down to the policies. So you can see that you're having problems dealing with taxing authorities. But that's not the end of it. Have you ever worked in a company, a large company that had big training forces and training manuals? What do you know? 5 people holding the same kind of jobs are given the same training manuals, sent to the same training classes. Do they all work exactly the same? Of course not. All right? They're human beings. Limited experience, their inability to duplicate written information, whatever it is. So when you have 5 people, they're doing it 5 different ways. So if there's ever a question in your mind, how can an organization as big as the state of California, why isn't there consistent enforcement of these things? Because of what we've just talked about. A law is created by this legislature and they have a very specific intent. Then it's turned over to the state of California. It used to be called the Board of Equalization. It's now called the CDTFA, California Department of Taxes and Fees Administration. Law is given to the CDTFA, they write the regulation. Now the HR department of the CDTFA has to create the policies and the procedures so that they can teach people how to enforce that regulation. What you've got is the intent of the legislature being rewritten by the taxing department. Then again, that being rewritten by the HR department, and then being interpreted by whoever is assuming the training. So there's a 4-step degrade that happens on everything. Everything. That is why the enforcement is inconsistent. So if you're ever having a problem, whether it's property taxes or IRS taxes, that stepped process will probably explain it to you. I'm Tom Alston. I'm here to help you. 916-691-9192. Give us a call.